Hey everybody, if you've been watching our devotional videos for a while now, you know that I am the history guy. I love history, I teach history, I love seeing patterns, I love seeing parallels between the past and now, and I just like old stuff. But today I'd like to take a little bit of a detour, I think, and talk about the present. Because the world seems to be going absolutely crazy. As you know, George Floyd was murdered in Minneapolis last week, or by the time you see this, it'll be about 2 weeks ago. And right now there's pervasive rioting, there's looting going on in cities all across the U.S. Just 2 days ago, a guy just down the street from where I live was arrested for pulling out an assault rifle. Right? And now I've lived in my home for about 10 years now, and that was the first time that I've actually been scared to live here. The world seems to be going absolutely crazy. And you know, with what happened last week, there's been a lot of talk about the misuse of power, that the bad cops out there, they abuse their power, they harm people needlessly, they do bad stuff. But you know, it's not just cops, it's politicians, it's terrorists, it's abusive parents, it's, you name it. If you have power, that power is going to be misused. And I'm sure you know the old saying, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And so that's why so many of the protesters are marching in the streets. They're saying they want to burn it all down, they want to start over, because the power at the top is always corrupt. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to argue that bad stuff happens in the world. I'm not going to argue that. I mean, what happened last week was wrong. It was evil. But I will argue the power corrupting thing, because you see, power does not corrupt. No, power simply magnifies what's already inside you. So, if you are a decent person with good morals, having a badge and a gun isn't necessarily going to turn you into a monster. If you live your life by the golden rule and you treat people as equals, then being the CEO of a bank or a major corporation isn't going to turn you into a cheating, conniving thief. Power doesn't corrupt. Power just magnifies what you already are. And sometimes power is what you don't do rather than what you do. The night before his crucifixion, Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane. And suddenly he's surrounded by armed men, people with power, yeah? And his followers tried to fight back, but they were outnumbered. And as it says in Matthew 26, Jesus says, hey, put your sword back in its place, for all who draw the sword will die by the sword. Basically, you think that's a show of power, but it's not going to do you any good. And then Jesus said something absolutely extraordinary. Do you think I cannot call on my Father, and he will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels? Now, in first century Rome, a legion was a military unit consisting of at least 6,000 soldiers. So 12 legions would be equal to more than 72,000 soldiers, or 72,000 angels. Now, to give you a little bit of perspective on that, the United States landed about 73,000 soldiers on the beaches of Normandy on D-Day in 1944. So Jesus is essentially saying that he could take out this rabble in the garden with more than 70,000 supernatural warriors. But he won't. It's his restraint that shows his power. That is true power. That's the Jesus I know. That's the God that I worship. So I pray that in the midst of the turmoil that our country is going through right now, I pray that we will exercise the same kind of power that Jesus did. The power of restraint, even in the face of injustice.